Yesterday, while watching a football game on TV here locally, I saw an ad for a Republican member of Congress from Alabama. He represents Alabama's Gulf Coast by the name of Jerry Carl. And in this ad that Mr. Carl has put out, he says flat out, Nancy Pelosi is crazy. That was the entire sentence. Nancy Pelosi is crazy. And then he talked about how he's fighting back against her. This, of course, again, is a Republican representative from Mobile, Alabama, Alabama's Gulf Coast, far, far away from Nancy Pelosi's district out there in California, yet he has made Pelosi the boogeyman in his ad. And this is not the first time it's happened. It's not the second. It's not even the 100th. This is what happens and has been happening for decades in Republican campaigns all over the country. Ever since Nancy Pelosi was elected as the House Minority Leader in the year 2003, so we're talking about 19 years ago, Republicans have made their campaigns all about fighting the evil Nancy Pelosi. And I bring this up because once you realize this history, which by the way, Vox.com did a phenomenal job of laying out the 2 decades worth of ridiculous attacks that Republicans have leveled against Nancy Pelosi in response to the attack that her husband suffered this past week when a deranged Q person broke into their home and assaulted him with a hammer while screaming, "Where's Nancy?" And there's been a lot of conspiracy theories obviously floating around out there from Republicans. One of them, of course, pushed by new Twitter owner Elon Musk. He deleted it, but he's also out there pushing them. Here's what happened. Republicans have spent 20 years telling their followers that Nancy Pelosi is evil, that Nancy Pelosi is crazy, and that Nancy Pelosi is a threat to democracy. Other members of Congress, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, they've shared in the past imagery and rhetoric suggesting that Nancy Pelosi be killed, right? Greene, of course, is the individual who shared a social media post saying the best way to solve the Nancy Pelosi problem is to put a bullet in her head. So Republicans have been using this violent rhetoric against Nancy Pelosi for decades now. They've attacked her on everything under the sun, except, of course, for the real things that you should be criticizing Nancy Pelosi for. As our usual viewers here, you understand, we're no strangers of criticizing Nancy Pelosi. But there is a world of difference between criticizing somebody and openly calling for violence against them or spreading baseless conspiracy theories against them, which of course is what the right-wingers are doing, which in turn leads to the violence that we witnessed last week. And the worst part about all this is, the reason I started with talking about that commercial from Jerry Carl, is that it's not going to stop. If anything, after this attack, it's going to get worse from these Republicans, because now they know that people are paying attention. Now they know that their base is ready to go out there and do some of the most horrifically heinous things we could imagine. And if you think Republicans are going to pull back because of that, then you clearly haven't been paying attention to American politics for the last 50 years. Republicans are going to feel more energized to go after people like Nancy Pelosi. They're going to use even worse language than what we have already seen. They're going to make it crystal clear to their psychotic followers that these people are the enemy and that you're the only one who can take out that enemy. And then the next atrocity is going to happen and they're going to say, oh, we've got to tone down the wording, folks. This is a both sides issue, which is exactly what they're doing now. This is not a both sides issue. This is a Republicans are fucking psychotic issue. And they want to kill you. And that's not hyperbole. That's not an overreaction. That's the reality in which we're living today. This is Hattie. Hattie wants to know why you have not subscribed to our channel. You obviously like our videos, so do us a favor and subscribe.